What's up, beautiful soul family? I'm so excited to be back in this seat with you all this week. This has been an amazing, crazy, it's been this wild week, okay? And I know I haven't been alone in some of the things that I've been going through because I've been posting little stuff and watching other people's stuff, and I'm telling you the things that I'm seeing right now come out of the recovery community is so spot on, and I'm so happy to be witnessing human beings coming into themselves and who they are and chasing after that deeper healing that they know, if they persevere, is going to open them up to their heart's path in the world, their soul mission, if you will. And it's just an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. It was the dream when I started, and here it is. It's just super outstanding. And so, as I have been going through these past few weeks that have been a little bit rough or rocky, or things that maybe from a certain perspective don't look all that wanted or fun, you know, I've been thinking about all the ways that a choice gets made in my world every moment of every day, whether to be happy or stay stuck. And I don't always make the right choice. And so when I put the title out of, are you holding back your own happy? I'm really talking to you from my own heart as well, because I've asked myself these questions a lot this past week, but I've been working up to it for like the past 4 years, to really finally start to put together all of the things that I've been learning and the pieces of the puzzle, and getting to make more choices that lead to amazing outcomes. All outcomes can be truly amazing when we come to believe that everything truly is working out for our greatest and highest good at all times. We give ourselves the freedom to choose. And sometimes we don't realize that we have that choice and that freedom. And so that's what I've been working through this past week, and that's really what I want to talk to you about tonight. And so I hope that this will resonate with you. And if you like the content, please make sure to like and share our stuff. You know all the stuff to do. When I took my break from doing 6 day a week, sometimes 7 day videos, and was on that grind, I had to take a break because it became this source of almost that I became a slave to it. And I decided that no matter what the numbers ever look like again, that I'll never allow myself to become a slave to social media ever again, in the way of what is right and highest and good for me, because I know what I needed to do, and I felt led to do it at that time, and I'm so grateful that I did. But I also am grateful that I honored the time when I had to focus back in on myself, on me. And so that's where I talk to you these days, from that experience, and knowing that that was best for me. And so knowing now that I have this boundary where, I will always and always do what I'm inspired and led to do, regardless of what it is. If I feel led, and like Pamela says, it's a hell yes, then I'm going to always do that, because following my heart has gotten me some pretty amazing outcomes, and not to mention some amazing people in my life. One of those people is our amazing Pamela Topjian, Breakthrough Hypnotherapy. I always do it backwards because of the website. But she's also always offered a beautiful gift to our Recovery Soulfood and Transgender Mentor communities. And so y'all can stick around till the end to learn how to, get the gift that Pamela's so amazingly willing to give this community. And my good friends, the Sober app, I'm so grateful to be involved with that next level, state of the art, all inclusive recovery program right in your phone. We need your help to grow it and make it even bigger and better. And I just want to send my amazing Curtis just a message of love out there tonight, man. I want to know that we see you, we see your effort, and that we love you, and that we are so grateful to be in the presence of someone as amazing as you. Danny, Mike, and everybody who works for the team, every creator that's involved with the Sober app. Let's reach our arms out to our Curtis and love him and Danny and Mike, because this thing is going to keep growing, and they are being renewed, working through their own traumas at the same time, and creating something amazing for all of us. So before I get choked up, if y'all are ready for this Saturday Night Soul session, then I'm ready. Make sure you download the Sober app on iOS, Apple App Store, Google Play Store. Do what you got to do. Get it. Love yourself enough. You're worth it. So, let's get into this Saturday Night Soul session. Live with me, LC. What's up, beautiful souls? Welcome to the Saturday Night Soul session, live with me, LC. I'm so grateful and honored to be in this seat. I missed last week, and then I was gonna replay one of my favorite episodes of this season. They've all been so good, and they keep getting better. I'm telling you guys, they just keep, like, it just keeps getting better. And I keep saying, when am I going to end the season? When do I end the season? And just another amazing guest and another amazing guest. So you know what? We're living by the heart these days, so it's going to go as long as it needs to go. And when I feel led to cut it off, I will cut it off. And so I will not throw a date out there. But missing last week just let me know how much I just feel at home in this seat, and at home with all of you, and at home sharing this stuff, because I know that I'm not the only one going through it. I see you guys. Like, I see y'all. Every one of you. I see people chasing down their true authentic truths. I mean, that's what we're all so hungry for right now. It's not so much, you know, stuff and external anymore. It's not so much about just trying to abstain. It's about honoring all of us. Like, we're shifting the paradigm of recovery and rediscovery of ourselves and who we are, and I see so many beautiful human beings on the path and just chasing that down with all that they are, and just learning to kind of stop and absorb and love every part of them. And that's kind of what led me into what I wanted to talk about tonight about, are we, can it be that we are holding ourselves back from our own happy, experiencing our own happy? And this usually comes up in circumstances that press it, that'll press the opposite, that'll press the old pattern. That will come in and press those places in us that still have just a little bit more to go, or yet just shift into another transition of that same thing. Kind of like forgiveness is not a one and done, it's an over and over. The same as recovery. It's not a one and done, it's over and over. And so going through that will often test you in those old pattern areas that need to go, or need to be integrated, or need to be looked at, or healed, or listened to, whatever it is for you. All of those things, maybe even. I don't know. But, to learn to listen to those things, and to, see what those things are truly about, versus just trying to abstain from what makes you feel, release, because we're looking for release. A lot of us used because we're looking for release of pain. And that becomes a habit in a lot of other areas in our lives. That's why it's not just about substance and habit abstinence. It's about really getting to know yourself on a deeper level. And so when I discovered that, yes, indeed, that it could be me that was helping to hold myself back from my own happy. I was in love with the want of happy, but was afraid to do what it took for happy because that was unknown territory. I had been living in this you play the hand you were dealt kind of mentality for so long that I just thought that my life was over, like it was just ruined. And thank God for that last little spark in me that fired just enough that I could see the flicker and say, nope, we got one more try in us. But this is a try or die. It's a do or die for me. Recovery had to be a do or die for me in that moment, or else I would not be sitting here with you. I would not be. And so I see a lot of people that are reaching for that, and they're looking for this more and more. And there's so many beautiful creators that are talking about these things and how to integrate it all into the body. And, so I had to make a lot of choices this past week. A lot. A lot of choices. When we get to a place that even our bodies start getting tired, and maybe we're not getting enough sleep or enough rest, and we're still running, full tilt at our lives, we we sometimes don't realize when we slip down into those states, those hopeless states, those states where we're just grinding through our days and we're grinding through our week, and we're not stopping in the moment and giving ourselves the choice to experience happy in every moment. And not like a cliche happy where, everything is just sunshine and rainbows, but happiness that is a peace within you. Like, even though you're going through this trying circumstance, you have the faith to know that this is bringing you closer and closer and closer to that in what it is that you envision for yourself. And if you don't have a vision for yourself, there's an amazing place to start. Because without a vision, the people perish, right? And so without a vision, we don't have that thing to connect to sometimes that we need, especially in recovery. You know, we start getting a hold of this thing, recovery, and we start getting a hold of this healing and it's this more positivity, and knowing that we have choices, and it really just gets infectious and infectious. And so, we have to give ourselves the space, to really realize that we do have a choice. Because the first time you hear that, you're in the middle of a situation, and maybe you've lived by that same, the program of mind of that, this is as good as it gets for me. I've ruined my life with charges. Drugs usually bring criminal charges, and these are the things the tapes will play to ourselves. It's over with. This is going to be as good as I can do, just because, within that confine we feel safe. But we often feel led, with a bigger something inside of us that says, but I know that I'm built for more. I mean, even through active addiction, it was one of the things that kept me fighting the most, because deep down in my soul I knew that I was meant for something more, but all I could see was the circumstances, and by what I had always been programmed to look at, which would be the danger in all situations. That happens to a lot of people that experience childhood trauma, where you get caught in this place, and there's this fancy name of empath that's spirituality gives it, and then we hold on to that and go, oh, I'm an empath, and sometimes we don't realize how much energy that we're taking on, because we're scanning the room for danger. And it's why we can always feel the strongest energy, and usually that energy is not necessarily good. And then we get caught in that whole thing, is this attraction, and it's so much, and we lead ourselves down these paths that we've been before. And just coming to a place of having to take, responsibility of there being a choice and having to try to do that work, it is scary because we see it as maybe daunting just because it feels scary within our bodies. We don't know what the outcome is going to be of this. And we've, in active addiction, you become almost married to the emotion of guilt and shame and regret. Because how many of us have those stories of, well, I wish I would have done this with my life and that with my life and all that stuff, but we didn't. And so if we choose to continue to look at the situations and circumstances in our lives from that perspective of everything's happening to me instead of for me, and make the choice, make the choice in the moments when they present themselves to take a path that just feels better to you. Not in a toxic way, but in a more positive way. Because a lot of times we've grown so addicted almost to our ways of being, it's become subconscious. It's those things that happen, like us breathing, and our bodies and our minds build these patterns so that we can do things like drive and think of other things. Think of the grocery list and the drive, or think of what work and the drive. And that thing is at work in our lives in all areas. And when we have the ability to start to know that we have a choice in those moments to see these things as lessons, or I don't even like using the word lessons because it implies that we have a bunch of stuff to learn, but I really think it's more about we have a bunch of stuff to rediscover about ourselves, or get to know for the first time, or whatever, that what we truly are and who we are, is special. It is special. And so, going back to the week, this week gave me a lot of moments to make choices in those moments of whether I give that toxic thing, that old addictive way of being, that see the problem, point the problem out, fix the problem in my head, and be mad that other people aren't fixing it the way I see they should fix it. I mean, let's just be honest. This is what we go through, especially when we live around family or work around family, or even friends and communities. We all get caught in that sometimes. And it's a very addictive feeling, because in the moment it gives you this important feeling, and everything that we do, say, or be is a result because there's a feeling on the other side of that. There's an emotional, need being satisfied somewhere along the way, whatever it is. And it's hard to say that any one of them are positive or negative, but what feels right and in the groove in your body, and it's important that we start to check in with that, and and be able to be in that moment and make a choice that I'm going to see what's in this for me. I'm going to practice in this moment, being mindful. I'm going to check in with my body throughout the day, and check on my face. Are my face muscles all, pursed up? Are my shoulders tight? Because we carry, our thoughts on our body. We carry our current attitude and mood on our body. And to stop and make an intention to check in with those things throughout the day. I've been wanting to make a video about just smiling for no reason throughout the day. Check in with your body, relax your muscles, remind yourself that you're not in a fight or flight survival situation, that you can relax, and that you don't have to be in survival, and you can let that stuff rest. And little bitty hacks like just smiling for no reason. A smile sends a signal to the brain that says release happiness chemicals, and it does, and it can take you out of you can stop those states that become mind and body and spirit so long and repetitively that's how they become subconscious happenings in our lives. That's how we train our subconscious. Repetition. How many times do we say in a day or in a week, I'm an addict? Your I ams are your prophecies for you. And whatever we say over and over, we think over and over, becomes a belief. And it's all rooted from even deeper than the belief system. And, when we just do simple things like do something physical to take ourselves out of that state of thought, when you catch yourself, or you become aware that you're in this train of thought where things are just, going over and over, and you find that you're in that pattern, which is sometimes a scary situation because you're almost watching your life, from this place of awareness, but you don't know yet how to kind of stop it or what it's here for or to look at it in this way. And so you try to fight it, and it seems like it's trying to overwhelm you. And really, it's just trying to be seen and trying to be heard. And that, so we have to be careful in that time that we don't let, awareness make us more anxious. Just to remember that things have to come up so that we can know that we have a choice. Because if everything's always the same, how do we ever make a different choice? We have to have the contrast. And so normally, where we're looking for someone to blame, we can step back and realize that this is a place within me that is looking to move its way through. And the choice is mine. I can complain about today, or I can pick 3 things that I'm really grateful about for the day. I can talk about how things went wrong, or I can talk about everything that went right. And I can set the tone of how conversations are had around me. And when I can't, I know how to remove myself and go where I need to be. Hey Janet, hey Pamela. Sorry, live. I've been so enthralled and just talking that I have not stopped to say hello, and I'm so sorry. You guys, I'm working on this full body kind of like detox thing every day because I'm really working on trying to get my body and stuff, back really online and really, really healthy from the inside out. I'm always working on my mind and all of that stuff because, I really want to see, I'm excited to see, all that is really within me, all that's been covered up through, reactions to trauma and survival and all the work that I've gotten to do. And I hate even calling it work because it makes it sound daunting, and sometimes it feels that way. But when we start learning things like having a choice and being intentional about not suffering for suffering's sake, that we're going to know that by faith, this is for my highest and best good. And sometimes it's hard to hold on to that. And there's no way you can be perfect in every day. So it gives you this opportunity of going with the old pattern of beating yourself up for the 10 times you didn't get it the way you wanted it that day. Or you can celebrate, the 3 times you did. We have the choice. And recovery is about so much more than just staying abstinence from substance or habit. We're beginning a movement towards full, healthy, whole human beings. And we realize that while a lot of the old paradigms and the old systems worked when it was their time, that everything evolves and expands. And it is not disrespectful to say, yes, I love this system, and I love this, and this, and this, and this. And I think that we should encourage that. I think maybe the goal should be when we do this kind of work that maybe we should get down to 0 subscribers or 0 followers, so that we know that people are hearing, what we're giving, and really being able to, transfer their lives, transform their lives, and create these amazing lives that they're leveling up, or whatever it is. I think that we got to fall back in love with seeing each other do amazing things in the world, and knowing that each of us, in our own unique, authentic ways, and notice I said ways, because there's not just one. We're such complex human beings that our authentic truth is never just one thing, and it certainly is not external. But we got to learn to love all of us, every part, the things that helped us get here. Because without all the things that I've been through, I could never stand here or sit here in this amazing seat and get to share time and energy with amazing human beings on the planet. And I'm just honored, man. I'm just so excited to be here and to be this person, and to know that I have something to give that's truly valid. And sometimes it's so hard to tell people um, how far you've really come. It's hard to see people when they describe themselves before, if all you've ever known is who you see now, and it's understandable. But when I tell you that I had absolutely given up on my life, and just for the majority of it, just wanted it to go out, that to sit in this seat represents to me that there is hope in every situation. And as long as you still have a flicker of hope that there is something else for you, if you still feel that deep down in your soul that there is something you're supposed to do, or something bigger than you pulling you towards something, keep going. Keep going. Keep that hope alive, because hope is the ingredient to recovery and change of all types, healing of all types. And it takes warriors, it takes people that can persevere, and can't nobody persevere longer and stronger and harder than someone who's been addicted to substance. Okay, I'm just saying. We go all out. And I hate to use a bunch of the cliches, but we do have to go all out. And it takes time to grow and heal the things that help you, because again, loving yourself is not one destination. It's not one place we get to. It's an ongoing process, as long as we're working towards it. But we're either working towards loving ourselves, or we're working towards, keeping that detesting ourselves going. We're doing one or the other. And at all times, we just have to remind ourselves that it's a choice. I have a choice here. I have a choice today. I can blame and feel good in the moment, or I can become humble and see what is coming through. See what's happening within. What I was saying about the detox and all of the supplements and stuff is, it makes me have the driest mouth, and that is not good for somebody who is talking to y'all and loves to talk as much as I do. I love you, Janet. I love you, Pamela. Yes, it has. That's a great point, and it is so true. It has to become a lifestyle, because everything we did in those active addictions to thought or habit or substance, was just all the time. It was our lifestyle. I mean, I never woke up being sick and did not figure out how to do something about it. There just wasn't a time. Even if I, failed for a day or two, it always came back around. That's why, for people with opioid use disorder, I don't know what the language is now. I really, really don't. So hopefully nobody comes for me. But um, for that's why MAT in so many situations is a good, buffer, because for, people that are addicted to opiates of any kind, and I'm hearing, what I'm learning that's happening right now is that the opiates are being just continued to be remade until they're so addictive and the withdrawals are so bad that we're grasping to keep people on that carousel. I think this recovery movement has made a huge impact. And I think that while they're out there, doing whatever they can to hook them harder and hook them faster, is because they know we're making a big impact. I don't know where that came from, but that's the truth. That's the truth. And I saw that 4 years ago. I knew that the more we kept loving our beautiful stories and learning how to love our lives and create our lives and learning just how much power we have and how much we're giving away, and what we have to sacrifice, because would it even be the law of polarity or a law of cause and effect? I don't know. But, you know, we have the power to create, our lives. And we have the power to learn through and grow through our situations, and everything can have a beautiful message and miracle attached to it. And it doesn't mean that it's going to feel good, the whole time. Grief never feels good. We lose people. We lose things, and that kind of grief and trauma, it never feels good. But when you have that faith that this too is going to grow you and help you continue to create a better and stronger life, then you can kind of lean in and let the emotions and the grief run through instead of damming it up in different places in your body when we escape. Because that's all we do. We escape it for a little while. It's a stay of execution. That's what it was for me. And so I think that's the spark of hope that we can hold on to, is that the recovery community has made a huge impact, and we still are. I mean, there's creators of all places in recovery now, and I love that. I thought when I waited till, like, I think my third year, that I was doing something by coming out that early, because it seemed like anyone I was hearing online was having like long-term sobriety, and I remember thinking, but we got to relate to one another, because there's a lot of people like me. But now we got amazing creators coming out the gate and sharing their stories, and sometimes, like anything, it works out really, really good, and sometimes it doesn't. But either way, we're coming out here and we're saying it's possible. So we keep that hope alive. And that's really in whatever circles you're going to. I think if this is the importance of getting guided, getting help with these things, like mentorship and, even sponsorship. But that's the benefit of getting external help. I always talk about Regulate with Amy, because I did Thriving in Recovery with Amy Guerrero, and it was, a trauma-based, nervous system-based, like pattern identification-based. I mean, there was so much to it, and self-love and acceptance and integration of all of it, based and themed, and the work she does is amazing. I still am experiencing growth from it every day, and I think it's been 2 years now, I think, since we worked together. So it's amazing. Martin John Garcia is an amazing recovery mentor. He goes really deep and helps expose the stories that, we live under, because our story about a situation is what it is how we experience it. Our perception about it is how we experience it. And that comes from that subconscious, that pattern of protection that you've had going. And so we'll keep drawing those same things back over with us, the common theme. And so just some little things, little bitty hacks, and then I'll let y'all go. But, we talked about the first one with smiling, just for no reason. It just releases, the chemicals in the brain. It changes the state, and you have a moment to come back to yourself and then see, check in. It's like an awareness tactic. Check in with, your perspective in the moment. Or just change your state from that thought pattern that you were in, and your body's all, just relax your body and smile. And do that a few times in a day. Check in with yourself. It will be amazing. It will become a habit, and before you know it, that starts to change your outward perception about everything. How we relate to one thing is how we relate to everything. Thank you, Amy Guerrero. And really grasping a hold of what that means is amazing. And it just is continuous. Just keep learning. So change that physical state. Give yourself a moment in your corner to go back and be aware, and just get back into happy for the moment. We always can go to gratitude. Always, always, always. If you become aware of yourself complaining, or if the people that are around you complain a lot, it's probably an indication that you might complain as well, a little more than you realize. I had to realize this about myself. It's hard sometimes to mirror ourselves and take our responsibility, but it's not a bad thing. It gives us power, because we can't harness anything that we can't see. And so I want to see those things. They're not often easy, but they're well worth it. They're well worth it, because the more I know that I'm in control of my experience and how I feel, the less people and their opinions and their behaviors can stress me. That puts me in a place of mastery, where I can have my own experience the way that I can envision it and can embody it. If you want to be an amazing recovery rock star, then get around some people that are rocking their recovery and embody that. Embody that. Ask them questions. Find out what they do, their techniques, how they're doing it, and try everything. And don't be upset if you hold the answers for a while, but you resist putting any of them into new practice. That's also in itself another pattern. But just keep working towards, just keep getting your information. Just keep listening to things that explain to you how creative that you are. Start watching the words that you say. The company you keep will often mirror how you are truly vibrating. If there's a common theme within them, perfect. Now you got a place that you can begin to change the energy about, and watch how you talk to yourself about it. There's language is so important, because we have already programmed our brain to pick up on certain key words, and then that within itself then causes an emotion that we have already trained to happen, and so we can find ourselves having panic attacks out of nowhere sometimes. So it's really an amazing, thing, these tactics, and just trying to give yourself the time. So gratitude, of course, always does that. Choose 3 things. Just stop in the moment. and find gratitude. And really having some type of support, I think, is so important. It's hard enough to to become aware and work on yourself and your spirituality and your recovery and all that stuff. It's really hard to do that on your own. It's not undoable, but it's not necessary. I think is the point that I'm trying to make is, it is not required, but it is very unnecessary. Find support. If you can't afford to hire a coach or, a mentor right now, then reach out in some of the groups that, you feel led to, vet people. Don't just open yourself up to someone in a recovery group just because it looks like a cool name for a group or whatever. Remember that you still have to, keep yourself safe, but, be around other people, find support. It's so important to know that you're not just doing this all by yourself. It's a very daunting task when we're becoming aware of places of healing in our lives and going through circumstances. So, those are just my humble suggestions. They are what I have been absolutely putting in great practice very recently in my life. Very recently in my life, it started to feel like it's clicked. Like I've gathered all the information, and now all of a sudden it's just starting to click. And I'm so grateful for the Recovery Soul Food podcast. That was an episode with Rita Ferrugia. If you haven't seen that one, then watch that. It's about NLP. Rita's an amazing rock star. That was on season 4 a few weeks ago. Catch that video. But when she made that comment, and it was just an amazing message from beyond that you're still okay. You don't have to be where you think you are. That's part of that, or where you think you should be. That's part of that old thinking. That's part of that old, way of being. And so that was just amazing. That's why I love doing this. It's outstanding, and all of you are outstanding. And for everyone that'll watch this on the replay, I really appreciate you. Um, oh yeah, Janet's with it tonight. Yes, absolutely. I'm so glad too, Janet. You've come a long way. See, that's kind of the thing. I imagine all of the folks, and Janet's been with me for a while, a long while, Recovery Soul Food. In all of its forms, Janet's been an amazing warrior in this community, and we've changed so much, and I've gotten to watch so many people grow in leaps and bounds that I just, it fills my cup to do this. And so when I get to a place where I start asking myself big questions like, should I stop doing this and put my energy over here because I know I could be good at it? I think of people like Janet, and I think of people like my friend Pamela, and I think of so many people that have been along the way with me. Mary Huffman. There's so many of you that have been on this journey with me for so long that I just remember that and that feeling of what it's like to see so many people learn that they are powerful enough to create their life, that they can get up from wherever they are in the moment. We see a lot about Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia, and every time I see one of those human beings in that video, I think every one of you, you can get up right now. Like, please don't lose hope that you can't get up right now, because it's amazing to realize that you are powerful. And again, it just takes one tiny spark of hope. I know I am a living proof that even if it's your last flicker, acknowledge it's your last flicker, grab it up, and set your healing on fire, because you deserve it. Doesn't matter where you've been, it's all about where you are and where you're going. So, thank you all for filling my cup. Thank you for doing all the things that it takes to to get a message out there these days on all the different social media platforms. Everything is in the description of this video. I would be so honored if you guys would like and share the videos, become a subscriber to the YouTube channel, to, if you get your podcast on Apple or Spotify or Google, to give us a review there and just help us continue to grow our message of true authentic healing, because that's what we're all on a path to. Remember that. We're all on a path to our true authenticities, and there are so much to you. We are all complex and amazing human beings, perfectly and wonderfully made. And our imaginations are our superpower. And there's nothing we can't do. There's nothing we can't do. I love you all so much. Next week, I'm going to have my good friend Pamela Topjian back in this hot seat. She's going to come and talk about her amazing new book, I Didn't Come This Far to Only Come This Far. And I cannot wait. She has been a podcasting rock star. I mean, I almost could not get into her schedule of podcast appearances. So I'm so glad that she's going to honor us and come on the Recovery Soulfood podcast live Saturday night soul sessions next Saturday to talk about that and all that's happened, how she's just walked into her dreams, all that she's used. And just remember, make sure that you go over to Pamela's website, which is hypnobreakthrough.com, and I want to find it right about the time. There it is. And mention Recovery Soul Food, LC sent you, or even the Transgender Mentor community as well, and you'll get a free full session of hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy has been one of the things I have utilized and still utilize to this day most in my healing journey, and I love it. And with Pamela's amazing gift, you get not only the consultation, which is a free 15-minute session, but then you get a free full session. So you will know by the time that's over that whether it's beneficial for you, and I promise you, if you give it a full-on chance, it will be. It's amazing, and Pamela is truly amazing at it. Also, make sure that you go over and follow Hide Your Crazy Film. Let's help these guys get this film made. Hide Your Crazy. I can't wait. They're in the bottom stretch of it. It's all getting ready. Partnering with MTV. The message is getting out there. Let's make sure that we go over and follow them. Go to ofsubstance.org. You can see how you can help them finish up this project. I can't wait to see it. I love those guys. Alex Kaplan, Austin Case, amazing human beings. And do not forget to download your Sober app. It's what you got to have. You got to have it. You got to have that support right where you are. You're worth it. They are amazing. Remember, let's shower our brother Curtis, our sister Danny, our brother Mike, with all the love we have as they just continue to make this thing better and greater and better and better and more beautiful. They are beautiful. I love them all. So y'all make sure you go and get your Sober app. Hit Pamela up for the free session. Make sure you come back next week and hang out with me and my beautiful friend, Pamela Topjian, and we're going to talk about her book, I Didn't Come This Far to Only Come This Far. Until then, y'all have an amazing week. Stay aware that the choice is always yours, and happiness is right in your hands. You can get up from your give up and create a life you love. I love you. See you next time. Bye.